విమలకమలనేత్రం విష్పుర నీలగాత్రం తపనకుల పవిత్రం దానవధ్వాంతమిత్రం భువనశుభచరిత్రం భూమిపుత్రి కలాత్రం దశరథవరపుత్రం నౌమి రామాఖ్యమిత్రం. రామాభిరామం నయనాభిరామం వాచాభిరామం వదనాభిరామం సర్వాభిరామం చ సదాభిరామం సదా దాశరథిం చ రామం. శ్రీవత్సచిహ్నమిశ్రేభ్యో నమభుక్తిమధీమహే యదుక్తయస్త్రయీకంఠే యాంతి మంగళసూత్రతాం. Prostrations to Srivatsan Chakravarthy. Dear Kuresha, it is because of his magnum opus Panchastavam we have the opportunity today to relish Bhagavad Gunānubhava. Embarking on relishing Kuresha's Panchastavam and particularly Atimānuṣa stavam is a blessing indeed. And over the last couple of sessions, we have started to understand how Kuresha, in his own unique style, helps us to discover the intricacies of various avatars. While Krishna simply puts in Gita the reason for his avatars as dharma samstapana, the reason, the rahasya after all is not that simple. Dharma samstapana is no doubt the overall overarching reason for his avatar. But the more we relish his avatars, we get to discover several reasons. And ultimately, the discovery that his avatars are only for our sake, that discovery possibly is the greatest discovery of humankind. We are all constantly trying to unravel the mystery of life all the time. Trying to understand this mystery called human life, trying to understand our own purpose here, understand answers to big questions. And in that process, the greatest discovery is the realization that the Creator is constantly with us all the time in various forms, through various cheshtitas, stays engaged with us in our life journey all the time. His unfailing protection whether we ask for it or not, is something, the discovery of which is the greatest discovery, and Kuresha's Atimānuṣa stavam repeatedly highlights that. Today we have all assembled here to relish that segment of Atimānuṣa stavam which covers the glorious Rāmāvatara. Rāmānubhavam, Rama Gunānubhava. There are several incidents in Rāmāvatara. Kuresha picks a few of them and gives us a beautiful perspective, trying to understand Rama as an avatara and Rama as a supreme example. Our Itihas and Puranas, all of them have a driving question. Every Purana or Itihasa has a driving question. Vishnu Purana, the driving question is, who is that supreme Brahman? Maitreya wants to know, and that's how the Purana starts. Parashara then starts to explain. The driving question of Mahabharata, what is dharma? That is the driving question of Mahabharata. The driving question of Bhagavata Purana is not only what is my dharma, what is the dharma of a dying person? It gets even more specific. While Mahabharata, Vyasa addresses the question, what is one's dharma? In Bhagavata Purana, he goes one step further and addresses the question, what is the dharma of a dying person? That's how Bhagavata evolves. Similarly, Ramayana also has a driving question. And we all know what is the driving question. Who is an ideal person? That's the driving question. What are the characteristics of an ideal person, ideal human being? Konvasmin sampradam loke gunavan. This is to understand how do we relate to a person who leads life rooted in dharma. Because the Vedas, the Vedanta talk about a life of dharma, the importance of leading life based on dharma, but how do we get examples? How do we follow the instructions, the injunctions of our Shastras? We need examples that we can relate to even today. And this is where Ramavatara stands out. The driving question that is answered in Ramavatara is the question of an ideal person, an ideal human being. And that is the reason why in Ramavatara, Bhagavan by design hid his Paratva. At least tried to hide his Paratva. And thanks to Kuresha, we will find how he also miserably failed in that. After all, one's supremacy will blossom at some time or the other, knowingly or unknowingly. One's brilliance cannot be hidden. A light, once it is on, cannot be hidden. A light has to illuminate the room. So, Bhagavan, who took the avatar of Rama, desperately tried his best. If there is one failure in Ramavatara, if at all we can ascribe failure to Bhagavan, it is failure to competently hide his Paratva. He tried his best. We have to give him that credit. So therefore, Kuresha is wonderstruck. He is reminiscing the incidents of Ramavatara and he is looking at Bhagavan's cheshtitas, his Atimānuṣa cheshtitas, his Atimānuṣa Shīla and Vritta. And he says, on the one hand, hey Bhagavan, you are conducting yourself like an ordinary human being, but I also see streaks of your Paratva shining forth here and there. It seems you have not done your homework very well. So therefore, thanks to your failure to hide your Paratva, we are blessed indeed. After all, ultimately, we are the blessed ones because within those cheshtitas of Ramavatara is hidden Bhagavan's unquestioned supremacy. And this is what adds beauty to Ramavatara. Those streaks of Paratva hidden within cheshtitas which are human-like. So, we will look at Ramavatara section of Atimānuṣa cheshtitas, the shlokas where Kuresha wanders around the various cheshtitas. Prichāmi kinchana yada kila raghavatve māyāmrigasya vashagaha manujattvamaudyāt sītā viyogaha vishaho tat gatignyāha pradāstata pratigatim hi katham kadāya. The 18th shloka of Atimānuṣa stavam. This is in a way, Kuresha sets the stage for his Rāmānubhavam. He says, He Rama, Prichāmi kinchana yada kila ragavatve. He Rama, Hey Raghava, by addressing him as Raghava, he says, you were the one who has descended in Raghukula. I know who you are. You have hidden yourself as Raghava, but I know you are the Paramatma. Prichami kinchana yadakila Raghavatve. I only have one question to ask you. Let me humbly submit that one question to you. Maya mrigasya vashagaha manujatvam audhyad. Like an ordinary human being, you too, it seems, got carried away by the Maya Mriga, golden deer. Sita viyogaha vivashaha nacha tadgatignaha pradastata paragatam hi katham kaghaya. On the one hand, just like an ordinary human, you are also bewildered looking at the golden deer. On the other hand, you are wailing, grieving over the loss of your dear wife Sita. And you seem to be not aware of her whereabouts. You are going hither and thither, lost in the jungle, running all over, not knowing where Sita was. And then at the same time, you are also granting moksha to Jatayu. What kind of cheshtitas are these, hey Rama? I am unable to reconcile. We need to see how in Valmiki Ramayana, Valmiki captures Rama's state. This incident of Maricha coming in disguise is beautifully described. Many a time, unfortunately, people blame Sita Mata. The general blame is Sita Mata got carried away by looking at the golden deer and she started putting pressure, nagging Rama. It is because of Sita nagging Rama that Rama had to go. This is the general perception or the story that is made out. But Valmiki clearly captures what transpired. Mother Sita, no doubt, was fascinated. After all, we need to understand that they were in the jungle. They are Kshatriyas, and it is the practice for Kshatriyas to capture beautiful animals and rear them. Now, this golden deer was so very captivating, so very mesmerizing. Anyone in Sita Mata's position would have been fascinated. So Sita looked at the golden deer, got fascinated, and she starts to make a case to Rama as to how it would be a good option to go capture it so that they can eventually take it back to Ayodhya. She even says, when we go back to Ayodhya, this would be a good addition in our family. So Sita actually makes a request. There is no pressure, no compulsion, no push. Actually, the one who got carried away was not Sita, was Rama. Babhuva Ragavasyapi mano vismaya agatam, Valmiki says. Vismaya agatam. It is Rama who was so very fascinated looking at the golden deer. More than Sita. Sita spotted it, no doubt. Sita made the request, no doubt. But it was Rama who got so very fascinated. And it was Rama who decided to go after. And it is Rama who was so very astounded and allured by that Maya Mriga, looks at Lakshmana. No, Lakshmana makes a case not to chase. Lakshmana says, hey Rama, this could be the work of a Rakshasa. Better not chase it now. But Rama says, Kasya Rupam Idam Drishtva Jambu Nadamaya Prabham Nana Ratnamayam Divyam Namano Vismayam Vrajet. Jambu Nadamaya Prabham, golden, glittering the Mriga. Rama says, this has to be captured. And after all, Sita has asked for it. I have to fulfill Sita's wish. There is nothing wrong in fulfilling Sita's wish. Any dutiful husband in Rama's position would do it. And he basically says, hey Lakshmana, even if you think it is a Rakshasa, even then all the more reason why I should go after it. Yadiva ayam tatha yatmam bhavet vadasi Lakshmana maya yesha rakshasasya iti kartavyo asya vadho maya. If you think it's a Rakshasa, then all the more reason I should chase and I should better kill it here and there. Because why? As a Rakshasa, it is even more dangerous. So therefore, Rama is actually making a case. He goes on to say, Lakshmana even says, hey Rama, it could be even that wicked Maricha in disguise. See, all this discussion has already happened. Nothing has come as a surprise. And even Rama then responds to Lakshmana and says, Etena hi rishamsena marichena akritatmana vane vicharata purvam himsita munipungavaha. Hey Lakshmana, if it were to be Maricha, then I am decided this is the time to put an end to Maricha, because I've already given him an opportunity twice. He should have been eliminated right at the beginning when he disrupted the yaga of Vishwamitra. I gave him an opportunity and he continued to be a troublemaker for all the sages of Dandakaranya. Therefore, there is no reason, if it is Maricha, be it so. It makes the case even more stronger for me to go after. So Rama basically creates a case as to why he should go after. No, Sita's request is only one factor. Rama going after the Mruga has several other reasons. So he creates a case as to why he should go. Asyam ayattam asmakam yat krityam raghunandana. Here again, we should see how Rama prepares to go after the deer. Just before this, Rama had to face Khara, Dushana and 14,000 Rakshasas. Even at that time, Rama did not bid farewell to Sita, did not bid farewell to Lakshmana. He asked Lakshmana and Sita to go into a cave so that he alone can go and handle the 14,000 Rakshasas. He did not prepare for his departure. But here in this case, Vichitra Sankalpa, Rama is actually preparing for his departure. He's saying, hey Lakshmana, you have to take care of Sita. Hey Lakshmana, it is very important that she be protected. In fact, her protection is part of our duty. So therefore, as I prepare to go, hey Lakshmana, take care of Sita. This never happened. This is only a golden deer. 14,000 Rakshasas were in front of him and he was at war. He never bid farewell. He never prepared for his departure. All that he said was, Lakshmana and Sita, go into a cave. I will just handle and come back. Whereas here, the treatment given is so very different. So Rama's Sankalpa here is very, very clear. And as he prepares, he tells Lakshmana, whatever duty we have to perform, it is all centered around Sita's protection here, Lakshmana. And therefore he says, and then he leaves. And what happens next, we all know. So Kuresha here is wondering, hey Rama, how can you, on the one hand, when you faced Khara, Dushana and the 14,000 army, you did not care to bid farewell, and now you are preparing, so you are leaving behind clues for us to unravel. While you behaved human-like, being bewildered, at the same time, you are also leaving behind clues for us to unravel the mystery as to why all of a sudden you went chasing. What was the reason for you to chase? And we know that Maricha had to be eliminated and the time was right. And also, Sita Apaharana was necessary for carrying out the larger mission. And Rama and Sita were both prepared for the yajna. So therefore Kuresha says, and it is as part of the yajna that Jatayu gives its life. And he says, therefore Kuresha says, hey Rama, what kind of an Atimānuṣa cheshtita is this? On the one hand, you are going around not knowing her whereabouts. Sita going in which direction you don't know, but Jatayu you can send him an Archiradi Marga. The direction of all directions you seem to know, but the directions where Sita headed to you seem not to know. How do I reconcile these two facts? Kuresha also understands that Rama is acting as an ideal person. Who is an ideal person? An ideal son, an ideal father, an ideal husband, an ideal brother, an ideal friend, an ideal king, an ideal citizen. how do we find examples for each of this? If we can find one person, all these roles rolled into one, that can only be Rama. As an ideal husband, he had to fulfill the wish of Sita, and as an ideal husband, he has to grieve on her loss. Imagine if Rama would have been laughing, what would have Valmiki written in his Ramayana? He had to grieve over the loss, and he also shows how to overcome that grief and practice equanimity. Now, equanimity does not require elimination of emotions. Now, Ramayana also teaches us this very important lesson. Now, we all think that to be a sthita prajna, to be one with an even-mindedness, we all need to be emotionless. Not necessary, not possible, not practical. After all, we are all characterized by our emotions. Whether we like it or not, emotions will come because emotions are triggered from outside. We don't necessarily choose our emotions. Many a time, emotions are triggered. How do we handle those emotions is very much within our control. The passing of emotions may not be in our control, but the handling of emotions is very much within our control. An external situation will necessarily evoke an emotion. Now, this is what Rama proves. Wailing for Sita, grieving over the loss of Sita is a natural emotion of a loving, caring husband. But to stand tall amidst this adversity and pursue with a cause, and more importantly, to surrender one's personal interest for a larger cause. This is what Rama proves here. His personal cause, his personal loss is his personal cause. Losing his dear Sita, who is inseparable from him. This is a loss that is unbearable. In spite of that, he surrendered that personal loss to a higher cause. And he stayed on course to establish dharma, to work for the larger cause. This is Atimānuṣa cheshtita. This is Atimānuṣa shila. Now, that is the reason why Kuresha is awestruck and thinking of Rama's display of paratva by granting moksha to Jatayu. Kuresha has horripilations all over because granting of moksha is an incident which rarely happens. No, we all are very keen to find examples from Shastras because we all want to know. One of the questions that we all have is, who all have got moksha? No, as mumukshus, we all want to know. Did this person get moksha? Did that person get moksha? No, we are all very curious. Good curiosity to have. And there are segments in our Shastras which talk about how Bhagavan reached out to give moksha. And here is that one glorious incident. Akshunna yogapatam agrahatam jatayum tiryanchameva pata mokshapate niyoktum chaknoshi vetsi chayada sadakatam tvam devim avaptum analam vyatitah vichinvan. No, the moksha pradana to Jatayu is such a glorious incident. Kuresha is celebrating that glorious incident. Again, there also Kuresha is reflecting on how the whole incident happened, the incident leading up to the Jatayu's moksha pradana. Ramavatara is so very special because through the avatara we get to see several examples of power. Throughout Ramavatara, examples of power. Power is so very important. And we get to see several examples of power. But the greatest lesson from Ramavatara is not examples of power, but power of example. It is the power of example which really stands tall in Ramavatara. Power of example. Rama leads by example. Sita leads by example. Lakshmana leads by example. Bharata leads by example. Jatayu leads by example. The great Jatayu demonstrates how it is important to sacrifice oneself for Rama Kainkariya. Not many get the opportunity. Everybody gets an opportunity, but not many utilize the opportunity in the right manner when it comes to Bhagavat Kainkariya. But one of the things that we always need to be ever watchful for is the opportunities that are presented to us for doing Bhagavat Kainkariya and Bhagavata Kainkariya. Opportunities are always there. Every day an opportunity comes. But the question is, do we recognize that opportunity? The opportunity to do Bhagavad Bhagavata Kainkariya, do we recognize? Second, after we recognize, do we make use of that opportunity to the fullest extent possible? No. Jatayu is such a Mahatma. Shriman, Valmiki says. No, Valmiki does not call everybody Shriman. He uses this very chosen adjective for a select few. And one of them is Jatayu. Shriman Valmiki says. So, Ya Oshadhimiva Ayushman Anveshisa Mahamane Sadevi Mamacha Prana Ravanena Apahritam. Jatayu, after putting up a brave fight with Ravana, the fight with the way Jatayu confronts Ravana and puts up a brave fight, and in that process Jatayu gets maimed, Jatayu gets injured, Ravana mercilessly massacres, and Jatayu ends up in a pool of blood and flesh, and Jatayu holds on to the last breath. Look at how great Jatayu was. Even the last moment of its life, Jatayu wanted to spend for Rama Kainkariya. Jatayu was holding on to its life for only one purpose, to meet with Rama and to pass on the message. And until Rama and Lakshmana could walk and reach, Jatayu was in that state, maimed, wounded, wingless, blood oozing out. When Rama saw Jatayu, Valmiki says, Jatayu was like a pile of flesh. There was hardly life left. Such was the pitiful state of Jatayu. And when Rama approaches, Jatayu looks at Rama and says, Ya Oshadhimiva Ayushman. The one who is about to die is wishing Rama, Hey Rama, Ayushman, may you live longer. Not caring for its own life, Jatayu was praying for Rama's long life. What else can we think of for Vatsalya here? Hey Ayushman, Hey Rama, Oshadhimiva Ayushman, Anveshisa. He says, in the Vana, you are looking for Oshadhi. Who is the Oshadhi? Sita Devi. I know you are trying to search for your medicine. Jatayu knows the medicine for Rama's illness of separation from Sita is Sita herself. So I know you are searching for that medicine. Sita is not only medicine for Rama, she is the medicine for all the jivas. She is the medicine for even Lanka. Lanka's illness can only be cured with the medicine called Sita. That is the reason why the doctor Rama arranged for the medicine called Sita to be transported there so that the treatment can start even before the doctor arrives. So Jatayu says that Sita and my life both have been stolen by Ravana. There are two ways to understand. My very life is dedicated to Sita. So therefore, Jatayu equates its own life with Mother Sita and says, both my life and Sita have been stolen by Ravana. Hey Rama, he is the one who is the culprit. Now, we know of the highest form of offering to Bhagavan, Atmanivedanam. And when a bhakta makes the highest offering, what will Bhagavan do? Rama had no choice. He was hiding his paratvam so very desperately. But then it is a bhakta's compulsion that Rama had to bestow moksha. It was not Rama's, Jatayu did not ask for moksha. Jatayu did what it had to do. And Rama had to do what he had to do. Because he is Sarveshwara and somebody doing Atma Nivedana had to be given moksha. Otherwise he will be breaking his own rules. So Rama had no option but to display his paratva by granting moksha to Jatayu then and there. Therefore, the power of Jatayu's offering, the offering of its own self. Now here, Kuresha says, Rama, Akshunna yogapatam argyahatam Jatayum. Akshunna yogapatam. Hey Rama, you only preach, or the Shastras teach, and later in the Gita, you also are going to preach that for moksha, one needs to practice karma yoga, jnana yoga, bhakti yoga, all kinds of yoga. But I don't think this Jatayu practiced any of these yogas. Jatayu does not know karma yoga, Jatayu does not know jnana yoga, Jatayu does not know bhakti yoga. Akshunna yoga bhaktam. Not even qualified to perform any of these. Argyahatam. It is this who was killed by a son of a Brahmana. Jatayu tiryanchameva. And from all that I know, this Jatayu is definitely not a human, not a Brahmana, not a human being. It is after all a lowly creature, a bird, and that too a lowly creature, Jatayu. Tiryam chameva bata mokshapate niyoktu. Therefore, it has no qualifications whatsoever. However, you decided that moksha has to be granted. I am unable to reconcile that somebody who has no qualifications whatsoever has been granted moksha, but Kuresha also kind of adds here saying, which is also an important message for all of us. If somebody who is not qualified can get moksha, we all need to be reassured. And it's a good news for all of us. Shaknoshi vetsi cha yada satada katam tvam. One who is capable of such a lofty action. Shaknoshi vetsi cha yada satada katam tvam. One who can on one hand grant moksha to Jatayu, which is a lofty action, but hey Rama, Devim avaptu manalam yatitaha vichinvan. Why were you stricken with such immense sorrow when you lost Sita? This I am not able to reconcile. Maybe, hey Rama, maybe you should have wailed a little less. One thing we need to understand in Rāmāvatara. While I jokingly said Rama failed to hide his paratvam, obviously Rama, Bhagavan, is the master. The way he orchestrated his cheshtitas in the Rāmāvatara, if we reflect on it, we will understand why he did and what he did and how he did. On the one hand, he is displaying his paratva. On the other hand, he also ensures that he possibly displays a higher dosage of vulnerability as a human to keep us distracted. So what happens when we are studying the Rāmāvatara? On one hand, we passingly see some of his paratva cheshtitas, and then we get to segments where we completely get distracted and we say, after all, he's also like us. He's crying, he's emotional, tears, all that. So we get some overdosage of vulnerability as a human being he shows. And in Rāmāvatara we see this. And there is nothing wrong about it. After all, if he has to show that he is a human, he has to also show he is vulnerable. As humans, we are all vulnerable. As humans, life is so very fragile. And the challenges that life presents us every day are beyond our control, and therefore there is nothing wrong in portraying some amount of vulnerability, which Rama very artfully does, and in that process he artfully hides his paratva. So he wails for Sita, he gives moksha to Jatayu, and he does that both effortlessly, playing both the roles to perfection. What do we learn from this is, how do we play our roles to perfection? because we also have similar challenges. On one hand, we may have a personal problem. We may have to grieve. We may have to wail. We may have to be a little sorrowful. On the other hand, at the same time, we may have another role that may require us to play a role of a leader, to play a role of somebody who has to show authority, show confidence, show courage. Now, both these roles need to be played to perfection without one corrupting the other. This is the hallmark of an ideal person. And how do we learn to be this ideal person? Our own dear Rama constantly demonstrates to us. And Kuresha, therefore, is in awe of this Atimānuṣa of Jatayu moksha. Salan hi sapta sagarin sarasatalanyan ekeshu mandajavataha nirapatrayatvam teshveshu vivyathana kinnakapi pranunnam shakamrigam mrigayasesma katam sahayam. This is Kuresha going on to the next segment of Ramayana where the pact with Sugriva is made. Here Kuresha raises several interesting questions. Seeking Sugriva's friendship and how Rama strikes the pact with Sugriva. And he says, Salan hi sapta sagarin sarasathalanyan eka yishu manda javataha nirapatrayatvam. Now, here he is capturing the glorious incident of Rama striking with his arrow the 7 sala trees. And he also says, Tesh eka vivyathana kinna kapi pranunnam. Now, Vali managed to strike one tree and cut it asunder with one arrow. Whereas Rama struck all the 7. Kuresha says, I do not understand. The one, Sugriva, Teshveka Vivyatana Kinna Kapi Pranunnam. Sugriva, who ran away from Vali, who managed to only cut one tree. And he overpowered Sugriva, and that Sugriva ran away from him. You go and strike a pact with that Sugriva? I am unable to reconcile this. That Sugriva is a weakling. He is weaker than Vali. Vali is the one who is powerful to Sugriva, and you are even more powerful than Vali. But why did you go and strike a pact with Sugriva, the weakling? Shakamrigam mrigayasesma katham sahayam. And he also says, Dashashaka sababhavat tavayah kapindra tat vid visham kapim amarashavas jighamshuhu. Because of your Dasha, who is Sugriva, who surrendered to you, you were so very furious and fiercely you eliminated Vali. Because in order to protect Sugriva, your Vrata, out of anger, you decided to eliminate Vali for all the offenses he committed against your Dasa. Patsneha vikla vidhiyam tamimam kapindram vishrambayan sapadi salagirin avidya. But unfortunately, Rama, what is this Sugriva? What kind of a person? Now, Kuresha is aghast. He's saying this Sugriva who surrendered to you, seeking your protection, and you, in order to protect Sugriva, you eliminated the one who committed offenses against him. But look at this Sugriva. Tatsneha vikla vidhiyam. Vikla vidhiyam. This Sugriva, it looks like has a confused mind. He seems to be one who is very bewildered. Rama is saying, why are you saying this, hey Kuresha? He says, how can Sugriva doubt you? How can Sugriva doubt you? The fact is, Sugriva unfortunately was in doubt. Sugriva was in doubt. And when Sugriva is in doubt, the beauty is Rama gives him the benefit of doubt. Sugriva was in doubt. Now why was Sugriva in doubt? Sugriva was still not unsure of his protection by Rama. Sugriva recounts the incidents to Rama, and he talks about the enmity between Mayavi and Vali, and how Mayavi was chased by Vali and eventually killed, and that was when Sugriva mistook that Vali was also gone, and eventually Sugriva had to flee from Vali. He also recounts the incident with Dundubhi. Dundubhi, the brother of Mayavi, has an encounter with Vali, and it is in that encounter Vali overpowers Dundubhi, and then Dundubhi was thrown, and Dundubhi went all the way and fell on Rishabhuka Parvata and died. Now, Sugriva recounts all these incidents to Rama and says, Rama, I know you have assured me of your protection, but still let me also highlight to you Vali's power and prowess. You must be prepared. He says, Valin paurusham yattat yaccha viryam dritichaya tanmama ekamana shrutva vidhatsva yat anantaram. Hey Rama, he says, let me also highlight to you the power and prowess and the valor of Vali. He is not an ordinary warrior. He is so very powerful. Let me also tell one of the unique facets of Vali's prowess. And Sugriva says, Samudrat Paschimat Purvam Dakshinad Apicha Uttaram Kramati Anudite Surye Vali Vyapagatak Plavam. He says, Rama, let me recount his prowess to you. You know what? Everyone does Sandhya Vandana just standing at one place in front of a river. But my brother Vali has a very unique power. He starts doing Sandhya Vandana on on the Paschima side, 4 oceans. He starts with the eastern side. He starts with taking the Sankalpam. Then from the eastern side he goes to the south. Then he does Arghya in the south. From south he jumps to the west, and then he does Japa in the west. And then from west he jumps to the north, and then he concludes the Sandhya Vandanam. So visiting all the 4 oceans surrounding the Jambudvipa, he does Sandhya Vandanam every day. Basically he is trying to say, such is the power of Vali, He Rama. Let me tell you also, Imecha Vipulasala Saptashaka Avalambinaha Yatra Ekam Ghatane Vali Nishpatrayitum Ojasa. He also has, when it comes to engaging in combat and using the bow and the arrow, he's so very powerful. He shows, look at those 7 sala trees, mighty sala trees. With one arrow, He Rama, just with one arrow, he can take aim and he can cut one sala tree asunder immediately, effortlessly. Such is the power of Vali. Etat asya asmam viryam maya rama prakashitam katham tam valinam hantum samare shakshase nrupa. Lakshmana, listening to this, was getting agitated. What kind of a person is this? He is doubting my brother. He is doubting Rama. This is what happens. Unfortunately, sometimes, God ends up putting greater effort in gaining our confidence than we put in growing our faith. This repeatedly happens to us. He works hard all the time. Instead of we growing our faith, forget about God testing us. We keep testing Him all the time. We keep saying, hey, He's testing us all the time, but in reality, we are only testing Him all the time. He puts more effort to gain our confidence all the time than we putting our effort in growing our faith. This incident is a great example of that, where Sugriva is doubting. He is doubting Rama. On the one hand, Hanuman is so very uncomfortable with the situation. On the other hand, Lakshmana is so very agitated with the situation. Rama had to manage the situation now. One hand Hanuman, another hand Lakshmana. How will he manage? With a smile. Rama is very smiling and giving a reassuring smile to Sugriva, saying, Sugriva, very valid. What you are saying is very valid. Let me prove. I will prove everything. Don't worry. It's basically Bhagavan repeatedly telling us, every day I am giving you and proving you repeatedly, I am there, I am there, I am there. We keep questioning him, are you there, are you there, are you there? Every day we wake up, we take a deep breath of air, and then we look at Bhagavan and say, are you there? He just said, I gave you air to breathe and live on another day. Why are you questioning me? No. Is that you who gave me? It's like that. He will say, don't worry. I will repeatedly prove. I will keep giving. I will keep giving. You keep asking. You keep asking. So Rama here is saying, don't worry, Sugriva. Yadina pratyayo asmasu vikrame tava vanara pratyayam samare shlagyam Aham utpadayamite. Aham utpadayamite. Rama is saying, if you have no confidence in me, Paramatma is saying this. If you have no confidence in me, Sugriva, no problem. Don't worry. With a great smile, is saying, Lakshmana, if left alone, would have thrashed Sugriva then and there. He's holding Lakshmana and says, hold. If you have no confidence in me, Sugriva, I will do everything possible to instill that confidence in you. I shall ingrain the confidence in you. What else can we ask for? Rama giving that confidence to Sugriva and his faith. And then what did Rama do? Sagrihitva dhanurghoram sharamyekam chamanadaha salam muddishya chikshepa purayansa ravaidishaihi savistrushto balavata banaha swarna parikritaha vitva salan giriprastam sapta bhumim viveshaha sayakahtu muhurtena salan vitva bahajavaha nishpapatya chupuraturnam tam eva praviveshaha. Taking that one arrow and all the directions reverberated with the clang of his bowstring. With that one single arrow, Rama shot, and then not one sala tree, the 7 sala trees got cut asunder instantaneously. Sugriva was shaking, not knowing what to say. He knew his apachara. He was saying that Vali can cut one tree with one arrow. Rama cut all the 7 trees at the same time. Sugriva had no answer. He knew this is exactly what Rama wanted to do. To make Sugriva realize his own mistake. And then, therefore, here Kuresha is celebrating that, hey Bhagavan, salanhi sapta sagirim sarasatalanya. Rama not only cut the sala trees, when he shot the arrow was so powerful, it went cutting all the 7 trees, and then he pierced the nearby mountain. It blew the mountain apart, it went and pierced to the Bhuloka, it pierced through the Bhuloka and went into Patala, Atala, Vitala, Saratala, Rasatala, Patala, all the Patalas, it pierced through and came back once again to Rama. And then Rama, while Sugriva was shivering and standing, all that Rama could do was turn around with a smile, says, is this enough? Or do you want more? This is the beauty of Rama. No, you ask, I give you more than what you want. And Kuresha here is saying, hey Rama, salanhi saptasagarin sarasatalanya. He wanted one sala tree to be cut. And what did you end up doing? You cut not the 7. You cut the mountain, you cut the Bhuloka, all the Patalas, all the Patala Lokas, so very effortlessly. Is this Manusha Cheshtita Rama? Kuresha is asking here, is this Manusha or is Atimānuṣa? And Eka Ishu Manda Javataha Nirapatryattvam, with one simple arrow, effortlessly you managed to do that. Teshveka Vivyathana Kinnakapi Pranunnam Shakhamragam Mrigayase Sma Khatam Sahayam. While you did this, why did you partner with Sugriva? The weakling. I know, because Rama, you stand with the weak when they are right. You stand with the right, whether they are weak or not weak does not matter. Because Bhagavan's role is not to support the strong. Ramavatara is all about sacrifice for the sake of the weak. It is not about survival of the fittest. It is about sacrifice by the fittest for the sake of the weakest. So this is the glorious message of all our Shastras. Survival of the fittest is for animals. Human beings cannot play to that rule which is for the animals. For human beings, it is about not survival of the fittest. It is sacrifice of the fittest for the sake of the weakest. And this is what Rama proves. Kuresha says, I know, I understand why you partnered with the weakling Sugriva, because you want to set an example that you will always stand by the right. Even in the war of Mahabharata, the Pandavas were outnumbered compared to Kauravas. Number-wise, there was no comparison. And Maharatis wise, there was no comparison. And who were there on the side of Kauravas? Bhishma, Drona. But Krishna was clear. He knew which side to stand by. So therefore, Kuresha says, Shakamrigam Ragayase Svakatam Sahayam. Why did you, the reconciling is not easy. Your act of effortlessly cutting the Sala trees and the Patala Lokas on one hand, and seeking friendship and support of a weakling who was overpowered by somebody like Vali. What an Atimānuṣa stavam, he Rama. Then Kuresha goes on to Valivadam. Valivadam is such a very important segment of Kishkinda Kanda, where we all know how Rama decided to bring Vali's life to an end. Yadva mragam mrugayavad mrugayapadesha channo jagantuna shatruvadadi mukhyat tadyuktameva tavaragavavam sajasya tiryakshunevahi vipakshatayopacharaha. Valivada, we discussed this before as well. But what is important to understand here is how Kuresha reconciles various seemingly conflicting acts in this whole episode of Valivada. Valivada is a favorite for many. Favorite more than Astikas, it's favorite for Nastikas. Because it is a favorite topic where if one want to point out fingers of impropriety against Rama, Valivada becomes a very great example. But unfortunately, whoever talks about impropriety of Rama, whoever talks ill of whatever has happened, guaranteed has not studied a single shloka of Ramayana. That is guaranteed. Now, Valivada, when Rama kills Vali, the great confrontation between Sugriva and Vali, a dramatic confrontation where Sugriva initially is completely overpowered by Vali. Rama and Lakshmana are watching the combat as it goes on, and then eventually in the second round, Vali is killed by Rama by hiding behind a tree. He kills Vali from behind, and Vali's life comes to an end. Now, the secret to unravel whatever has happened lies in the conversation between Vali and Rama. This is possibly one of the greatest conversations on dharma. And Rama and Lakshmana approach Vali. Now, Vali is not only physically wounded, he is mentally wounded as well. Vali never expected this to happen at all. Like every egoistic, arrogant, blind, mentally blind person, Vali always thought death will never come to him. Not in this fashion. And when death strikes, he is unable to accept the situation. Vali looks at Rama. Now, Vali poses a series of questions to Rama. There are several questions, over 13, 14, 15 questions, which can be primarily grouped into 5 categories. For the sake of us trying to unravel the discussion and the theme of the discussion between Rama and Vali, we can classify Vali's barrage of questions. Vali thinks he's over smart and he can get away questioning Rama. Most often, many people who question Rama possibly have not completely studied the syllabus. Vali's questions are studied and Rama's answers are not studied. It's like you go to an exam, you study first half of the portion and you forget to study the second half of the portion, and then you start telling the teacher that your question paper is wrong. Exactly what happens. Now, first let's look at what are the 5 broad questions Vali asks at a broad level. Vali says, "Hey Rama, what kind of a dharma are you talking about when you are killing me? I am a stranger to you. This land is mine. You come to my land and you and I have no relationship whatsoever. I am a stranger to you. How can you kill a stranger? What kind of a dharma is this? There is no enmity between you and me, hey Rama." Now, we need to see how Vali's questions are so very logical, so very intellectual. Every question that he asks, very valid question. No enmity between you and me, hey Rama. I am a stranger to you. This land does not belong to you. And then you come and then you kill me like this? How? It is completely unfair. What kind of dharma are you talking about? You are believed to be somebody who stands by dharma. I don't agree. You are a dharmatma. First question. Second question. Rama, you must know I am not guilty. What kind of a guilt that you are charging me against? I did not kill a Brahmana. I did not kill a king. I did not kill a friend. I did not kill a cow. I did not kill a woman. As per Dharma Shastras, I did not do any of this. Therefore, what kind of an aggression that I do that deserves death penalty? Because all of this, according to Shastras, when somebody kills a Brahmana, when somebody kills a king, when somebody kills a woman, when somebody kills a cow, all these deserve death penalties. He says, I have done none of this. So how can I deserve death penalty? This is question number 2. Third question, he says, hey Rama, again, why you had to partner with this my weak brother of mine, Sugriva? You could have saved all the trouble. You could have come to me. You could have partnered with me, and in one moment, you would have heard how I defeated Ravana in the past. I could have, in one moment, I could have flown to Lanka, brought Sita immediately. Why should you go through all this trouble of partnering with Sugriva, doing all this? I could have made it so very easy for you. Why did you make it so very complicated? That is third question. Very valid question. Fourth question. Now, Vali becomes over intelligent. Therefore, he says, hey Rama, you should know I am an animal. Your Dharma Shastras are not applicable to me. If you talk any Dharma, I am after all a monkey. I am a Vanara. Your Dharma Shastras are not applicable to me. So, how can you kill me like this? This is against your principles, because I am not bound by your Dharma. Your Dharma is for humans, not for animals. Very intelligent question. And then comes the most powerful question, which so many Nastikas are very thrilled. The question is, hey Rama, I have been engaged in a combat with somebody else, and you from behind, without any notice to me, you then shoot an arrow. How can you kill someone who is combating another, and that too when one is unvigilant and from behind the back? What kind of a Kshatriya are you, hey Rama? Now, if we stop the syllabus here, all of us are wondering, wow, Vali, Rama, how can you do this? Now, Rama's answers are so very profound. It not only gives clarification to Vali, it busts the myth of the so-called arguments against impropriety of Rama. Rama looks at Vali and says, hey Vali, dharmamartam cha kamam cha samayam cha api laukikam avijñāya katham balyam mama iha aha vidyate. Balyam, you are a youngster when it comes to dharma. So, before engaging in a conversation on dharma, you must know that unfortunately, you seem to have not realized dharma in its entirety. Dharma is very subtle, but hey Vali, it's very clear. Based on the questions that you have asked, you have exposed your ignorance on dharma. And then, fine, but I am duty bound, hey Vali, to you and to future generations to come to give all the answers. Rama did not say that, I am saying that. Rama very patiently answers all the questions. What was the first question? What kind of a dharma it is, Rama? I am a stranger, you come to my land and you kill me. What kind of a dharma? Rama beautifully answers. Ikshvakunam yam bhumihi sashaila varakanana mrgabakshi manushyanam nigraha anugraheshapi tam palayati dharmatma bharataha satyavan rujuhu dharmakamat tatvajnaha nigraha anugrahe rataha nayaha cha vinaya cha ubhau yasmin satyam cha sustutam vikramaccha yatha drishtaha saraja deshakalavit. It is important for us to refer to the actual statements made by Rama, because we are not here trying to discover our own answers. Very important. We have to go with what transpired. And Rama very clearly says, Hevali, let me answer the question. You say this land belongs to you. You must know this land belongs to Ikshvakus. Ikshvakus ruled the entire Bharatavarsha, and right now Bharata is the king of Ikshvakus. He is ruling the entire Bharatavarsha, including your territory. You may be the king of this territory, but all the territories belong to the empire of Ikshvakus, and I represent King Bharata. Now, I might have sacrificed my throne, but I have not sacrificed my Kshatriya Dharma. I have a responsibility to protect Dharma wherever it is on the land of Ikshvakus, and when Adharma rises on behalf of Dharmagya Bharata, on behalf of that noble king, I am here to execute actions which will protect Dharma. And let me also tell you, in order for a king or his representative to carry out Dharma, there is no need to have a relationship. I might be a stranger to you. That's how it is. A king or a king's representative will be a stranger to many citizens. That does not mean the king or the representative can take action. The king or his representative will not come and say, let us first try to understand each other before I start giving you a punishment. That doesn't happen. So I may be a stranger to you, but as a representative of the throne of Ikshvaku, I am here to punish you for the misdeeds, for the wrong actions that you have committed. Wrong actions? Vali is raising his eyebrow. Wrong actions. Essentially, that is part of the second question. I am not guilty. I did not kill a Brahmana. I did not kill a cow. I did not kill a woman. Rama is very blunt here, because there are certain things which are unacceptable. Things which are unacceptable had to be dealt with in a very blunt way. Rama is compassion personified, no doubt, but when it comes to adharmic actions, he is a no-nonsense master. He cannot accept. So either Tvam tu sanklishta dharmacha karmanacha vigarhitaha kamatantra pradhanacha nastito rajavatmani tat patitaste dharmat kamavrittasya vanara bhratrubharya abhimarshe asmin dando ayam pratiparitaha. Very blunt in his answer. Hey Vali, you are asking what is your guilt? Let me tell you, you have broken two dharmas. You have broken Kula Dharma and Raja Dharma. You have broken Kula Dharma. The moment you laid your eyes on your brother's wife, which is not acceptable at all. This is the basest, the vilest, heinous crimes one can do. This offense cannot be pardoned at all. You broke the Kula Dharma, and therefore how can you even say what is my guilt, what is my crime? Number two, a king who does not know what is right and what is wrong is not fit to be a king. You being a king in a power of position, greater the position, greater is the responsibility. And greater the responsibility, greater is the punishment that one deserves for doing any misdemeanor. Larger the size of the magnet, larger it attracts small pieces of iron. So therefore, Hevali, you not only broke Kula Dharma, you broke Raja Dharma. You did not understand what is right, what is wrong. And more importantly, Sugriva surrendered to you. Sugriva did a mistake, no doubt. But accepting his mistake, he surrendered to you. And he is your younger brother. He is your younger brother who accepted your mistake, and he fell at your feet as a king, as an elder. You should have forgiven him and accepted him. What did you do? You got prepared to kill him. You broke Kula Dharma, you broke Raja Dharma, and you are asking me, what is my guilt? It is very clear. Your guilt is unpardonable, and that is the reason why you deserve this punishment. Third question of Bali. What did he say? What did he ask? Hey Rama, why should you have partnered with Sugriva? You should have partnered with me. Rama says, Hey Bali, now you are exposing ignorance of your ignorance. What kind of a question is this? Sugrivena cha me sakyam lakshmanena yatha tatha dara rajya nimitham cha nishreyakarassame pratignya cha maya datta tada vanara sannidhau pratignya cha katam shakya mat vidhena anavekshitum. You must know that Sugriva, when he surrendered to me, I promised unfailing protection to him. And therefore, unlike you, who can break your promises, I know my dharma, I cannot break my promise. And you, with all pride and arrogance, you are saying that you will go and you will bring Sita back from Ravana after killing Ravana? What kind of a fool you are, He Vali? My pact with Sugriva is to support me in discovering Sita Mata and bringing her. Ravana Vadha is not Sugriva's mission or anybody else's mission. It is my mission. Bringing Sita back is my mission, not anybody's mission. Discovering her, yes, I'm seeking support, but not to bring her. I will personally go. I don't want anybody to go. I will personally go wherever she is. Once she is found, I will go and I will bring her back. I don't need anybody to do that on my behalf. So therefore, don't show your ignorance, Evali. It is very clear as to why I struck a pact with Sugriva and not with you. Then comes the intelligent, quote unquote, question of Vali. What was that question? Vali says, Hey Rama, your Dharma Shastras are not applicable to me. I am, after all, a mere monkey, a mere animal. Now Rama smiles. Until now, he is very fierce because he is giving a very blunt message to Vali. Now, it's a kind of a relief for Rama also because a foolish question asked intelligently by Vali. And then Rama answers, Name tatra manastapo namanyuha haripungava Vagurabhicha pashaicha kutaicha vividaicha naraha pratichannacha drishyacha grihanti subahun mrugan. Accepted you are an animal, accepted. And if you say you are just, do you know how animals are trapped? Do you know how animals are attacked in the forest? Animals, several kinds of traps and several kinds of nets, several kinds of instruments are used to catch animals in several means. So if you consider yourself as an animal, well and good. That is exactly what I have done. I have trapped you as an animal. And then to the question of all questions, the mother of questions of Vali. How can you, when I am combating with Sugriva, how can you shoot at me and kill me from behind, when I am not engaged, when I am unvigilant? Rama says, Yanti rajashya cha atra mrugayam dharmako vidaha tasmat tvam nihato yuddhe maya banena vanara ayuddhan pratiyuddhan va yasmat shaka mrugohyasa. You yourself now have accepted you are an animal. Since when hunting became a face-to-face game, Evali? Since when hunting became a face-to-face game? Hunting is never a face-to-face game. A hunter hunts down an animal at his own will. He does not seek the convenience of the hunted animal. He does not go to the hunted animal and takes permission. Hey tiger, tiger, hey lion, are you ready? Can I shoot? No. The tiger or the lion or any rogue animal can be in whatever position, sitting, standing, running, sweat, it can do anything. It is the hunter's prerogative to take aim and shoot at the hunted animal at his own convenience. This is the rule of the game called hunting. So Hevali, you are the hunted animal, I am the hunter, and therefore there is nothing improper that I did. What I did deserves the heinous crime that you did. Therefore, Kuresha is celebrating Valivada. He says, Yadva Mrugam Mrugayavad Mrugayapadesha Channo Jagantunata Shatruvadha Vimukhya Tadyuktameva Tavaragava Vamsajasya Tiryakshunaivahi Vipakshata Yopacharaha. Raghava, Yadva Mrugam Mrugayavad Mrugayapadesha. No, you did exactly what had to be done. Kuresha is saying, just like how a princely hunter hunts down a rogue animal. No, animals, when they become rogues, become dangerous to the lives of not only the animals in the forest, but the lives of people around the forest as well. Rogue animals have to be eliminated. That is the role of a Kshatriya prince. He says, Yadva Mrugam Mrugayavad Mrugayapadeshat Channo Jagantuna Shatruvadabi Mukhyat. Just like how a princely hunter hunts down a rogue tiger which is about to pounce on a holy cow. Obviously, that rogue tiger had to be killed, hunted down. And what an Atimānuṣa cheshtita here, Raghava. What an Atimānuṣa cheshtita. You hunted down this rogue animal called Vali and you eliminated so very effortlessly. And he says, Tadyuktameva Tavaraghava Vamshajasya Tiryakshunaivahi Vipakshata Yopacharaha. It is, after all, the practice of the glorious Raghukula, the kings of Raghukula. They clearly know fools of despicable conduct are not worthy of face-to-face combat. Those whose character is questionable, whose conduct is despicable, are not worthy of face-to-face combat. So what you did is the right thing here, Rama. Kuresha is saying, why should you waste your energies going and standing in front and asking for a combat? He is not worthy of a face-to-face combat. And therefore, people like Vali are to be treated as unworthy rogues that have to be slaughtered. And what you did, that slaughtering of Vali, is so very glorious. Atimānuṣa Shīlavrittaveshehi Ativrittāmara Vikrama Pratapaihi Atilangita Sarvaloka Samyam Varaye Vaishnava Vaibhava Avatar. What a glorious cheshtita where Rama, with one incident, proves several Dharma Shastras right. He ensures that Dharma is established and he also leads by the power of example here. And Kuresha is overwhelmed celebrating this Atimānuṣa cheshtita. Kuresha goes on and celebrates the glorious Setubandhana. Manushyaka acharitam acharitum pravrittaha devatigam charitamangah kimangyakashi yatsagare bata babandita natha setum shailaihi plavangama samingita sampranunnaihi. Setubandhana, we recently we relished the glorious. Here Kuresha is wondering, Rama, what a wondrous act of yours, this Atimānuṣa cheshtita. In 5 days, you ensured that a bridge was built which was 100 yojanas in length, 10 yojanas in width. And within 5 days, this bridge was constructed. He says, Manushakya acharitum pravrittaha. Rama always keeps saying, Atmanam Mahanusham Manye Ramam Dasharatatmajam. This is his favorite statement. Whoever approaches him and says, Hey Rama, you are a great Mahatma, you are a Paramatma, he says, Atmanam Mahanusham Manye Ramam Dasharatatmajam. Please consider me as only son of Dasaratha, Rama son of Dasaratha, Rama son of Dasaratha. Don't treat me anything more, don't treat me anything less. He always wants to show that he is another king, he is another prince with his Kshatriya duties. And therefore, while on the one hand, you are constantly declaring you are a Manusha, now, Devatigam Charitamanga Kimangya Karishhi. What kind of an act that you have executed which even the Devas cannot imagine. Even the Devas cannot imagine building the bridge, say in just 5 days. A massive bridge of unimaginable proportions. Rama, in that process, you not only build a bridge that connected two shores, you built a bridge between goals and accomplishment. You built a bridge between aspirations and inspiration. You built a bridge between inspiration and perspiration. Rama showing yajna in action. This is one incident in humankind that needs to be always celebrated. The possibilities of human accomplishment that are Atimānuṣa like. Human accomplishment, but supra-human like. Human, which is carried out in an extraordinary fashion. Therefore, here Kuresha is celebrating. And how come you manage? Kuresha knows when all the mountains, the rocks, everything were thrown into the sea remained very calm and steady and supported it. Now, Kuresha here is poking Samudra Raja. Just few moments until then, Samudra Raja was very uncooperative. He was doing all kinds of drama, and now Rama managed to tame Samudra Raja and ensure that he behaves. And Samudra Raja behaved, all the Vanaras behaved, and the outcome was an extraordinary accomplishment, Setubandhana. Setubandhana is celebrated, and Kuresha celebrates the pinnacle of Ramavatara, which is Vibhishana Sharanagati. Abhimnaterita jigetana rakshasendra naivasya jagyita yadacha balabalam tvam nissamshayaha sapaditasya padebhyashinchaha tasyanujam katamidam hi vibhishanamcha. Here, Rama, what kind of an Atimānuṣa cheshtita is this? Abhimnaterita. He says, the bridge is not yet built. Vibhishana comes all the way. He approaches from the other side of Lanka, from Lanka to the shore, to all the Vanaras. And Vibhishana surrenders to Rama. And Kuresha says, Abhimnaterita. Bridge is not yet built so that everybody can cross over, go to Lanka. Abhimnaterita jigetana rakshasendra. You have still not assessed the strengths and the weaknesses completely of the Rakshasas. The strategy for war is not finalized yet. Naivasya jaggita yadacha balabalam tvam. The Rakshasas are not vanquished. Their strengths and weaknesses have not been assessed. Nissamshayaha sapaditasya padebhyashinchaha tasyanujam katamidam hirveshancha. Before doing all of this, you go ahead and you crown Vibhishana. You do Vibhishana Pattabhisheka then and there. What kind of a Satya Sankalpa is this, hey Bhagavan? The Satya Sankalpa of Bhagavan is he decides right up front what is right. Because Vibhishana Pattabhisheka is the crowning glory. It is not Rama Pattabhisheka. Rama Pattabhisheka is celebrated by all. But Vibhishana Pattabhisheka has to be even more celebrated because that is done by Rama. And that is the outcome of a Sankalpa. So Kuresha says that Vibhishana who surrendered to you. Rama had no other option because Vibhishana had all the lakshanas of one who does Sharanagati, Sharanagata lakshana. Anukulyasya sankalpaha pratikulyasya varjanam rakshayati vishvasaha poktrutva maranam tata atmanikshepakatpanye shadvida sharanagatihi. The 6 angas of Sharanagati, the lakshanas that are required for a Sharanagata are very much there. And Vibhishana is the one who is the Sharanagata. So therefore Rama had to accept the Sharanagati, and his Sharanagati was a fruitful Sharanagati. Kuresha is in awe of Vibhishana Sharanagati, and more importantly, he is in awe of Bhagavan's Satya Sankalpa. The biggest lesson here is his Sankalpa. His Sankalpa Shakti, where he decides upfront, he orchestrates, and he decides what is right. The lesson for all of us is that he knows what is right for us more than what we do. Vibhishana did not surrender asking for the kingdom. Vibhishana did not surrender asking for any riches. In fact, Parityakta Mayalanka Mitrani cha Dhanani cha Bhavadgatam hi Rajyam cha Devidam cha Sukhani cha. He completely renounced everything. He renounced Lanka, he renounced the throne, he renounced his relatives, his family, renounced all the riches and came and surrendered to him. Rama gave back everything to him. Whatever he did not ask for, bonus. Which means Bhagavan knows what we need more than what we realize, what we think we need. Is Satya Sankalpa in such a way that whatever the way he orchestrates everything, the outcomes are already decided. Vibhishana Pattabhisheka is already decided. Pattabhisheka has happened. Ravana Vada happens later and eventually Vibhishana becomes a king. But much before the Pattabhisheka happens, our Pattabhisheka has also happened. Rama has given us that assurance, our Pattabhisheka, of being always united with him. Repeatedly he gives us an assurance. And therefore, whatever events that ensue, like the war that happens, so many uncontrollable events happens. The war that is going to happen, there are going to be a lot of calamities, lot of challenges, twists and turns. But the beauty is, Sugriva becoming the king of Lanka is assured even before all these twists and turns of the tale. Similarly, there could be twists and turns and challenges in our life, but the assurance is already made. Vibhishana Sharanagati reminds us that he has assured us and he will abide by his vrata of unfailing protection. Kuresha therefore celebrates this Atimānuṣa cheshtita of Rama. Kuresha is wonderstruck. He is experiencing various Kalyana gunas of Rama. And in that process, he reaches a point where he says, "Hey Rama, now I am really challenged," he says. Rama is also keenly listening. He says, "What is your challenge, hey Kuresha?" He says, "I have been experiencing all your Kalyana gunas so far. Jnana, Bala, Shakti, Virya, Tejas, Aishwarya, Vatsalya, Saundarya, Lavanya, Sauhardha, Karunya, Madhava, Arjava, all kinds of qualities. Now I come to a stage where I am unable to capture this guna of yours and categorize it and understand the magnitude of this guna." What is that guna? Rama is also wondering. Kuresha says, "Yat tadrishagasam arim raghuvira vikshya vishramyatam iti mumochita mugdhamajau koyam gunaha katarakoti gataha kiyam va kasyastute padam ahobaha kasya bhumihi ko ayam gunaha." What kind of a guna is this, He Rama? You are endowed with so many gunas. Shastras talk about so many gunas, but somehow this is something very unique. Ko ayam gunaha katarakoti gataha. How do I categorize this guna? Under which category I will put this guna? Kiyanva. I am unable to assess the magnitude of this guna. What guna Kuresha is talking about? And he said, "Kasyastute padam." Who can adequately praise this guna of yours? I am not able to find words. Kuresha is saying this. I am not able to find adequate words of praises to capture this guna of, "Hey Bhagavan, what kind of a wondrous leela is this yours?" he says. What is this guna Kuresha is talking about? Yattadrishagasam arim raghuvira vikshya. Now he addresses Rama as Raghuvira. Raghuvira, the one who is the very embodiment of courage. Raghuvira, Mahadira, Dhaureya. Vedanta Desika has written one whole work around Rama's courage. Raghuvira Gadhya. Here Raghuvira, Viradi Vira, Ranadhira, Dhaureya, the one who is the very epitome of what courage means, what valor means. He says, hey Raghuvira, he addresses Rama. There is a special reason why he addresses Rama all of a sudden. The first time he is addressing Rama as Raghuvira. And he says, hey Raghuvira, yat tadrishagasam vikshya. That Maha Aparadhi, that bundle of offenses called Ravana, in spite of all the offenses that he has committed, Vishramyatamiti Mumochita Mugdhamajau, on the battlefield, when he was chariotless, weaponless, and he was fleeing from the battle because he was completely defeated, and at that time, you let him go back, rest and come the next day. What kind of a guna is this? Is this karunya or audarya or something put together or something different? How do I categorize it? This Ravana, Maha Aparadhi, he is the one who abducted, who did the Maha Apachara of abducting Mother Sita, and who is the one who put you through the pain that nobody could have undergone in your position. The kind of pain endured by Rama, no ordinary human could have undergone similar pain. After all this, that Maha Aparadhi right in front is defeated, and you let him, he says, Vishramyata, you let him go and take rest and come back, refreshed. I am beaten completely, clean bowled. I have no words to capture this guna. No, this possibly is Audharya to the power of Karunya, or Karunya to the power of Audharya. I don't know how to define that. And he says, Kasyestute Aho Baha Kasya Bhumihi. This is not an ordinary Cheshtita. This is Atimānuṣa of all Atimānuṣa Cheshtita of yours, where you have the courage. This is why he is addressing him as Raghuvira. This requires courage of unimaginable proportions to just let that Maha Aparadhi get away for the day. And Kuresha is celebrating that unique Kalyana Guna of Rama. Rāmānubhavam of Kuresha is so very special. And thanks to Kuresha, he is able to capture nuances of the Avatara where we are able to understand the glories of Rama even more. And continuing on the theme of Bhagavan's Audarya to the power of Karunya, or Karunya to the power of Audarya, Kuresha says, hey Bhagavan, yatvam krutagasam api pranati prasaktam tam vayasam paramakya kripaya akshamishtha tenaiva madrisha janasya mahagasopi yuktam samashvasanam iti upadharayami. Kritagasam, colossal sinner, one who is a bundle of unimaginable karma papas. Yatvam kritagasam api pranati prasaktam tam vayasam paramaya kripaya akshamishtha. When one such bundle of unpardonable offenses took refuge in you, you accepted the refuge and you protected him. Kuresha here is celebrating that incident, Kakashura Vrittanta. This is another Atimānuṣa Cheshtita which highlights to us Bhagavan's not only Karunya to the power of Audarya, we have to possibly add another dimension. Karunya to the power of Audarya to the power of Vatsalya. I don't know if mathematically it is correct. Our maths teacher can correct me later. But such is this guna here. Because Bhagavan, the Kakasura Vrittanta, Mother Sita herself recounts this to Hanuman. Because she had to send a message, a very personal message through Hanuman to Rama. And this is one incident nobody was witness to, including Lakshmana Muni. There was nobody witness to this incident. The wicked Kakasura, Jayanta, who took the form of a kaka, crow, overcome by lust, Jayanta plucked Mother Sita's chest when Rama was resting on her lap in Chitrakuta. Rama and Sita were having a private moment in Chitrakuta. Bhagavan was taking rest in Mother Sita's lap. And Jayanta, in the form of Kakasura, he plucks at Mother Sita's chest and blood oozes out. And Rama obviously could not bear what transpired. And immediately, then and there, he picks up a dharma grass, a piece of dharma grass, and invoking Brahmastra, he throws it at Jayanta, Kakasura. Kshipvastvam pradiptam dharmam tam vayasam prati tatattu vayasam deeptassa dharbo anujagamaha sapitracha parityakta surais savai maharshibhi trin lokan samparikramya trataramna adigacchati punarevagatatrastaha tyatsa kasham arindamaha satam nipatitim bhumau sharanyaha sharanam gata padarham api kakustaha kripaya paripalaya. Kripaya paripalaya. This Jayanta, the Kakasura, the moment Brahmastra started to chase, tried to escape, started running everywhere, going from one loka to the other loka, all the lokas, including Indraloka, everywhere he went, Brahmaloka, Indraloka, everywhere he went, and nobody was able to protect him because it was Rama's Brahmastra. There was no answer to it. And eventually, realization dawned on Jayanta, Kakasura, that the only way to get protected is to surrender to Rama. And that Mahapapi surrenders to Rama. And Rama, without even thinking twice, accepts that bundle of unpardonable offenses. Krishna also says, Apichetu duracharaha bhajate mam ananyabhak, he says in the Gita. This is the karunya to the power of audarya to the power of vatsalya. Abhichetu duracharaha, duracharaha. Even the sinners of highest proportions, those who have accumulated maximum number of papa karmas, Krishna says, they too qualify for my grace. They too qualify to come on to the right path and eventually progress to get moksha. This is Vatsalya of Bhagavan, which cannot be imagined. If we imagine a mother cow cleaning the decay, the flesh, the blood, the bile, everything that pops out when it gives birth to a calf, without even thinking twice, the mother cow is cleaning its calf with its own tongue. If a mere cow can have that kind of a Vatsalya, what kind of a Vatsalya can Bhagavan have? He is ready to accept our doshas as our offerings. Ahamasmi aparadana malayoh akinchano agatihi tvameva upaya bhuto me bhaveti prarthana matihi sharadagatihi. Ahamasmi aparadana malayoh. Bundles of offenses that we have all committed. And he is ready to accept it. And therefore, here Kuresha, he says, Hey Bhagavan, I am reflecting on the Kakasura Vrittanta, where the Mahapapi, Kakasura, taking refuge in you, you gave him protection. Now, reflecting on that, now Kuresha is saying, now we need to now note, Kuresha is saying on our behalf, he is saying, Tenaiva Madrisha Janasya Mahagasopi. Ordinary people like me. No, Kuresha is saying, Hey Bhagavan, ordinary people like me who have committed unpardonable offenses. This is what is called Naichyanupasana, Naichyanusandhana. Essentially, the courage to admit that we have papa karma. The courage to admit that we have bundles of offenses already committed. It is not that we will commit. What we have committed in the past is beyond our control. And therefore, the courage to accept that and plead, asking Bhagavan to accept us as we are. Because aiming for perfection and then to be accepted is not going to happen. We can always say that, hey Bhagavan, give me time. I will do all the sadhanas. I will do Ashtanga Yoga. I will do, and then I will, with all my sadhanas, I will reduce all my papa karma, and then you accept me as a perfectionist. That will never happen. The courage to say that whatever is committed, and please accept me as I am. So Kuresha here is saying, Madrisha Janasya. A Mahatma, Kuresha, is basically saying, I am a very ordinary person, hey Bhagavan. And if you have accepted Kakasura, I am assured that you will accept me too. Tenaiva Madrisha Janasya Mahagashopi Yuktam Samashvasanam Iti Upadharayami. This, more than what is important here is the assurance that we get. Even in godless individuals, God is not less present. We need to understand that. He is not present less even in godless individuals. One may be a Nastika. That does not mean Bhagavan is not present in the Nastika. Sarvasya chaham hridisannivishtaha. He is there in everyone. So therefore, just because I do not subscribe to him does not mean he is not present in me. So, even Mahapapis, Duracharaha, are those who have an opportunity to reform, because Bhagavan is constantly waiting. He is saying, give me one chance. That one chance to be given to him so that he can help bring about that reformation. It's like, there is a door between us and Bhagavan. There is a door. Now we may wonder why this door is not open. The door is not open not because Bhagavan is holding on to it and locking it. We are holding on to it and we are locking it. It is for us to unlock it. On the other side is already unlocked, ready to be opened. He is willing to accept everybody without any discriminations whatsoever. This is what we learn in Rāmāvatara. No discrimination whatsoever. It does not matter what ashrama, what varna, what jati, whether it is Manushya, Deva, Tiryak, it doesn't matter. And without any discrimination, he is ready to shower his boundless grace. Therefore, Kuresha is in awe of Bhagavan. Hey Bhagavan, what kind of a reassurance you keep repeatedly giving me. If you are able to protect Kakasura, then we are all assured that we too have some chance. We too have an opportunity. And therefore, we are elated. Hey Bhagavan, we are really elated. Kuresha concludes his segment on the Rāmāvatara with a very poignant, with a very emotional appeal to Rama. He says, Hey Rama, ha hanta hanta bhavataha charanāravindadvandam khadānu vishayi bhavitā mama akshno yoham nirargala vinirgala dhandakareihi vrikshaihi trinaicha sulabham samayam yatita. He says, Hey Rama, ha hanta hanta. Alas, how misfortunate I am, unfortunate I am. What kind of a misfortune I have, Hey Rama? Ha hanta hanta, alas. He's expressing his anguish. He says, Bhavataha charanāravindadvandam. Alas, I'm unable to actually see your divine lotus feet. I am thirsting to see your divine lotus feet. I want to have the darshana of your charanadvandvam. And unfortunately, I'm unable to see it. Kuresha is saying so. But Kuresha later on is blessed to get the divine vision of Bhagavan. Now, we need to also understand here. When Kuresha was writing Atimānuṣa stavam, he was blinded. He was blinded, he was maimed rather. He was writing Atimānuṣa stavam, part of his Panchastava, sitting in a place near Madurai, Tirumānubhavam. He had to flee from Srirangam. Kuresha was maimed by a wicked king who took his eyes. Blinded, Kuresha goes to Tirumānubhavam, and it is where, being blind, he composes Panchastavam, Vaikunta stavam, Sundarabahu stavam, Shri stavam, Atimānuṣa stavam. There is one more stavam left, which is Varadaraja stavam. Now, in Atimānuṣa stavam, he is actually expressing his longing. He says, he's not expressing his longing because he lost his physical eyes. He is expressing his longing, says, I'm unable to have the darshana of your divine lotus feet, Hey Rama, because I am in Kali Yuga, not during your avatar. Now, we also have to understand, later on, his Acharya, Swami Rāmānuja, takes him to Devadideva Varadaraja in Kanchi. And he says, I instruct you, you pray to Varadaraja. And Kuresha then and there in Hastigiri composes the brilliant Varadaraja stavam, glorifying Varadaraja of Kanchi then and there. And in that, because of his instructions of his Acharya, he says, Netrasat Kuru Kuresha, Netrasat Kuru Kuresha Sadhame. He said, because Rāmānuja asked him, you better ask Bhagavan to grant eyes. And Kuresha, maimed, blinded, initially refuses, but Agnya of Acharya, he has to abide. He says, Netrasat Kuru Kuresha, Hey Varadaraja, Netrasat Kuru. Bhagavan says, Tathastu, I will give you. But Kuresha says, yes, as per my Acharya's wish, I am asking, but let me add, with this eyes, the eyes that you grant, I only should be able to see you and my Acharya and nobody else. I do not want to see this world. And Bhagavan had to accept it. Now, Kuresha in Varadaraja stavam gains eyes with which he is blessed with divine form of vision of Bhagavan. But here, Ahanta Hanta Bhavataha Charanaravindat. Hey Rama, your divine lotus feet, the feet with which you walked on the Bhuloka, those divine feet that underwent a lot of pain, walking on rocks, thorns all over. You walked all along, you walked and walked and walked and walked, reaching out to people, to your bhaktas. I was unable, I was not there during that avatara. I regret that during that time I was not able to have darshana of your feet. Khaduna vishaye bhavita mama akshnoho. I was not blessed to see those devices with my eyes. But I also heard, Yoaham nirargala vinirgala dhandhakaraihi vrikshaihi trinaicha sulabham samayam yatita. Hey Rama, during your avatara, the moment you decided to complete your avatara and you decided to go back to Vaikuntha, at the time when you entered the Sarayu river on the way to Vaikuntha, you took along everyone with you from Ayodhya. You took along the people of Ayodhya. You took along the trees of Ayodhya, you took along the grass of Ayodhya, you took along the birds of Ayodhya, all the way together with you. What a misfortunate, what a wretched soul I am. If only I were there at the time, I could have just followed, just like a grass, just like a rock, just like a tree. I could have followed you all the way to Vaikuntha. I missed that opportunity, Hey Rama. I missed that opportunity. But Kuresha knows that while he has missed that opportunity, then he knows that his Acharya's Sankalpa, Moksha, is guaranteed to him. And therefore, his experience of Rāmānubhava, Kuresha, repeatedly tells us how Rāmavatara, specifically Rāmavatara, and of course all the avatars, while we can go looking at several reasons for the Avatara Visesha, we can go around unraveling the mystery of the avatars. It is not about the mystery is not to be analyzed and solved, but the mystery is to be experienced and relished. experiencing Rama, experiencing Rama Guna is the very essence of our life and living, and Kuresha is one who has immensely contributed to our life journey, and it is because of illustrious acharyas like him who have taken the pains of dedicating their lives and giving us this body of shastras which become a toolkit for us to engage in Bhagavat Gunānubhavam. Jai Shri Ram.